Have you ever heard of Darwin's finches? Well, Charles Darwin, a naturalist back in like the 1830s, he was exploring on the Galapagos Islands and he noticed there were finches, but on each island the finches looked different. And he came to realize that on the first island, all of the finches had a certain beak, size, and shape that was really well specialized for eating the food that was available on that specific island. And on the next island, the finches had a totally different shape and size of beak. Well, what a freaking cool example of diversity and variation, and why not apply that to clothing? Hi friends, it's Leah with Charlie Darwin Textiles, and today's video is going to be a celebration of creative possibilities. As you probably already know, I just put out a new sewing pattern, aptly named the Finch sewing pattern, and it has endless adaptations. There are like over 20 ways to make this exact same pattern. So I want to show you all of these ways that you can make this one top feel totally different every time you make it, feel really reflective of the vibe and the use you want it for. We're going to be looking more critically at how to actually style this one top given fabric choices and the design variations that you choose. You're going to get outfit inspo from me and my fabulous pattern testers. I really want to help you fit this blouse to your everyday life, your current wardrobe, whatever's in your fabric stash or what you're aspiring to put into your fabric stash, whatever that looks like this season. Please apply all of what we talk about today to anything you're making right now, whether it's one of my patterns or not. I think you'll get a lot out of this. But if you are inspired to get the pattern that we're looking at today, more specifically, you can get it over on my website at charliedarwintextiles.com/patterns. All right, get your creativity caps on and let's dive right in. So to start off, I am gonna just keep it real simple. We're just gonna look at some cute pics of me real quick, how I made it and styled it. Then we're gonna move on to the billions of cool ways that our pattern testers made it and styled it. Let's see. I did the first iteration of mine in my naturally dyed linen. I used tea gray color. It's one of my favorites. Very simple, calm, earthy color. Went with the short sleeves, the band collar. I did the collar ruffles and paired it with wood buttons that are dyed the same color as the fabric. I would say my design style on this one is pretty like soft, and I think it looks more academic because I choose to button it all the way up to the neck the way that I've styled it here. And I also have tucked it in the photo on the right. I tuck it into my shorts, which is one of my favorite ways to do it. I do the French tuck where it's just kind of partially tucked in the front and free flowing everywhere else. And I think that gives it more of a silhouette for me, for my very short body. I'm only 5'1", and sometimes I feel like it helps to tuck things in at the waist to on a high-waisted pant especially, and that helps elongate my legs a little bit more. And I had someone in the comments section recently tell me that they thought this styling looked French, and I love that. I'll take that as a compliment. I think it does look a little bit French. So I don't iron my linen almost ever, my linen garments, and that is a choice. That's kind of like a styling choice you can make. I think ironing gives like a very crisp, clean look, and having it wrinkly makes it look a little bit more textured and well lived in. And, you know, especially when paired with intentionally textural elements like the gathering at the bust and the collar, I think it has like a lived in elegance to it, some might say. All right, and then my second variation of this was I did an undyed linen look here, and I did the double ruffle sleeve, a band collar, did the collar ruffles, wood buttons, but this time I did color blocking, which was very fun to experiment with. I did the upper shoulder portion of the pattern in like a jacquard woven linen, that matched well with the lower bodice portion. And that's just like a really fun area to play around with. There's endless possibilities you could do with that. And then I also did an applique on the sleeve hem here. I made like a zigzag with that same pattern. It's not in the pictures photoed very well, but I'm trying to put it on my screen right here, that look. And I have a tutorial on that on my blog as well. And I think that this design and styling of this variation of the Finch gives, because of the double ruffle, the high texture, the wrinkly look, paired with the ochre linen pant, or even with the completely monochromatic linen pant on the right side, it gives a big like artsy, earthy kind of vibe. That's kind of the vibe of Charlie Darwin in general, so obviously that makes sense. But very earthy, easy, flowy, artistic freedom. I'm doing what I want, and this is my weird, cool version, and I'm obsessed with linen. That's what this outfit says. And you might see as you go through, people are going to be making their outfits very differently than I do. These aren't going to be all replicas of how I do it. You might hear me describe something a certain way that you like really resonate with. That's you, or that's the current moment you're in right now. And cling on to that. That could be kind of like your trail for what design decisions you could become inspired by and kind of reflect your garment off of. Okay, so now I want to get into my pattern testers creations, and they're also fun. We're gonna start here with Althia. She made her Finch top in this really rich indigo blue color that she did. It's a cotton shirting fabric, and she did the bishop sleeves, the traditional collar, and Althia paired her bold blue shirt with this also bold, like yellow ochre mini skirt, which I absolutely love. It looks like it might be corduroy. Yeah, I think it's corduroy, which adds another element of interesting texture to this, and a little bit of like a retro 70s vibe. She also styled it with the wide-brimmed felt hat, oversized sunglasses, chunky wooden earrings. I think all of this styling together, which I totally love, it creates, if I were to put words to it, like a boho cowgirl meets art school artsy aesthetic. It's eclectic, it's earthy, it's bold. It has just the right touch of like glamour to it as well, which I love. You know, I think this outfit really says, you know, I'm thoughtful about my style. I love natural textiles, and I'm also not afraid to stand out in a crowd, especially if I can do it my way and in my version of comfy clothing. So love it. Bold, modern, color pop. Well done, Althia. So cute. Okay, next we have Janette, which Janette is this is just so precious. I love, so cute. I love Janette's creations here. She made her first iteration in just like a simple cream colored top, and then she made her second version of it in this blue and green checkered fabric that I absolutely love. The fabric, she says it's cotton. I think she pairs it with like a real tiny button. She did the short sleeves, the Peter Pan collar, and I think that altogether her fabric choice, the teal and navy checkers and the Peter Pan collar, it has like a sweetness and a charm to it, and it's kind of gives off a playful and nostalgic vibe that is really nice. Like, I'm here to have fun. Let's go catch frogs. Let's hang out in the canoe all day. I totally love it. She paired it with this green pant, which I need to know where she got these pants from. These barrel leg pants are so cute, and they really keep the whole vibe kind of relaxed, movement friendly, a little bit utilitarian. I think she pairs it down here with the shoes, a black sneaker. Again, it kind of gives it this more utilitarian edge, perfect for muddy walks like it looks like she's on right now, or working in the garden, or catching frogs by the pond. It all just is very gentle, approachable. I feel like ready for real life. I think something about Janette's top, I don't know if it's the colors or the fabric, but it has a very like personalized feeling to it. Like this isn't something you could find just in any store, in any even special boutique. It looks very like not handmade in a bad way, but handmade in like this is a special shirt to someone, tells a little bit of a story about them. So well done, Janette. Absolutely love this variation of the Finch. All right, next we have Olivia, who, as you can see, she really made the Finch her own, and she turned it into a dress, which is so fun. So she used a linen cotton blend, and I believe she said she used just like a giant king bed sheet. She did the short sleeves, the Peter Pan collar with added collar ruffles. And you can thank Olivia, she is responsible for figuring out how to hack this shirt into a dress. There's actually a blog post over on my website where she has gone in detail about how she did this. It's actually very easy. She shortened the bodice by a little bit and then measured out big rectangles for the skirt panels and gathered and attached them very similarly to how I did the tiered bell sleeve instructions in the sewing pattern. So you can check out that blog post if you want to figure out how to make this a dress. But Olivia, she was making it specifically for her needs in this moment, which is she's pregnant. And that's so fun to be able to create special garments for that special time in your life. But I will say, I feel like maternity clothes are always the most comfy for like all of us. Like if something's good for maternity, then I will wear it. It's always the comfiest clothes, the comfiest dresses, the comfiest pants. It doesn't matter what it is. And so you know it's good if a pregnant woman is excited to wear it. And I think with the color and the collar style and the tiered dress, it gives very like cozy cottagecore, just so comfortable, living in the woods, very cottagey. Love it. Thank you, Olivia, for helping us with this pattern hack. Okay, next I've got these three cuties who I'm kind of pairing all together just because I wanted to show they've all styled a long sleeve rendition-ish of the Finch with the classic navy pair of jeans. And so I think you can see right here already just all three styling so similarly, but they all have their own unique kind of charm and personalization to them. So let's start with Jo. She used a cotton print. She did the long sleeve variation, the band collar, collar ruffles. I think she also added ruffles into like her button placket area, which is really cool. And I would say that overall her outfit is very like cheerful. It's practical. It radiates like a relaxed confidence to it. I think it's a really good example of a bold print. Like she's got this really bold yellow print meeting more everyday wearability. She's got the skinny jeans on the bottom that are very like grounded, familiar, no fuss, and it really balances out, I think, that playful volume of the blouse up top. And then she's got these really cute tan suede clogs that give the whole outfit a more warm and earthy tone. And it really echoes, I think, the top's more retro inspired palette in a way that kind of plays off of each other and is really fun. I think she looks bright, pulled together, ready for anything. She could be going to the farmer's market. She could be hanging on that cool porch of hers with her friends. I think it's really cool that Jo was willing to take a creative risk on the fabric choice because also she was, you know, working with seams that weren't necessarily going to match up. But I think this fabric is bright and busy enough and just creative enough that it doesn't necessarily matter if all those lines align at the seam line or not. And yeah, I just think it's very creative while still keeping the whole styling of it very casual and approachable. Absolutely love it. Keep on. All right, next we've got this cutie who is rocking a medium weight linen on the bell flare sleeve. Love this sleeve extension, and you can tell she used the selvage edge of her fabric for that lower ruffle of the sleeve. And it has like you can tell right up against where the faux fray is, it has like a little bit lighter trim. Such a subtle detail. It just kind of like adds a glow to that already billowing sleeve. So pretty. She also did the band collar with the collar ruffles. Overall, she's just really got like a relaxed boho chic look going on. Paired with like the messy bun and the rolled up jeans, it just looks like, hey, I'm hanging out. You want to come over and have a Moscow mule and hang out with me? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay, Sherry. Sherry, so cute. Her smile is just radiant, and she is rocking a medium weight linen in gray. She did the 3/4 length sleeves, the band collar with the collar ruffles again. I don't think she added any buttons at all. She's like, screw it, I'm never buttoning this thing up. I'm going relaxed all day long. And I think that's what's totally working here. She's got like a relaxed, nature-loving vibe. She looks like someone who has found her happy place, and the happy place is wearing this shirt. And I think that washed gray color is very like neutral, soft, lived in, calming, and she pairs it nicely with the jean, which is also kind of a worn-in denim, and you can tell she's got some really cool mending, sashiko stitching there on the knees, which adds a really nice, like, creative energy to this garment. It gives it more of a lived-in feel, more personal, well-worn in, like, the best of ways. It makes it feel more individual, like Sherry is, is one with this outfit, which I love. And then she paired the whole outfit with black Birkenstock style sandals, a crowd favorite. Love Birkenstock. They're very practical, grounded, earthy. This shirt is kind of a part of her lifestyle that's rooted in intention and creativity and in her garden, which I absolutely love. Okay, thank you, Sherry. So cute. Great job on the blouse. All right, Marlene, it's just crazy how different these different shirts can look based on the fabric and the color choice. Like, we had Sherry in this one, Marlene in this one. You're going to see Louise in this red one. It's wild. Okay, so Marlene did 2 different styled photos here. She has styled with a white pant and a black pant. But either way, I think this outfit is such a good blend of like sophistication, texture, bold color confidence. I think it makes this top look both elevated and kind of edgy at the same time, especially with that black pant. She did the bishop sleeves, the band collar, and then she did not only ruffles in her collar, but ruffles added into the bust seam line, which is really cool. It accentuates that seam line going across, adds a ton of texture, and the color of her top is just so bold. Absolutely love that. The way she pairs it with the black pant too is a nice high contrast color pop. And I think the way that it's tucked in, like whenever I see this shirt tucked in to pants, I just think European. I don't know. Whether it's a French tuck or like a full all the way around tuck, it gives me more European vibes. I would love if my European viewers could let me know, am I way off? Are you guys like never tucking in your shirts and this is not it? I don't know, but it gives me a little European artsy vibe, and I think that's just so sweet. Okay, next we've got Louise, and Louise just makes me smile from ear to ear when I see her. I don't know if you guys could tell, but when you zoom in on her buttons, they are so cute. They're little birds, okay? It's the Finch top, and she's got little bird buttons on it. Absolutely obsessed. I think this was chef's kiss, top-notch choice for buttons. They're like not too big, they're not too small. They perfectly match the color, I feel like, the color palette of the shirt. I love it. They make it unique, they make it fun. The shirt's already so fun, but she's totally nailing it. The fabric that she chose, we got to talk about that because it's super unique. And it is a cotton fabric. She described it as a giant seersucker fabric, which just has so much texture built into the fabric itself, which I think is really cool because this is already, as we've discussed, a high texture, can be a high texture garment. Because we have all of the like gathering in the bust seams across, and you could be adding ruffles and stuff like that. So she's got all this added texture in the fabric itself, but then she also added ruffles to the hemline of the sleeve and the bodice. And I think that's perfect for this fabric because it really extends that texture all the way to the edge. I can't imagine it any other way now that I've seen it the way she's done it. And she did the traditional collar, which is brave because I think if I had this textured of fabric, I would have been nervous. Like traditional collars, I feel like they wrinkle up a lot more and like kind of shrivel or like get warped and weird. So I would have been nervous with this fabric, but honestly, I don't know if she used a fusible interfacing on the collar or if she just like ironed it really well. Either way, very well done, Louise. The collar looks very crisp and classic, but also high texture, matches the whole vibe of everything. I would describe this as very fun, a bold color, very classic. The way she has styled it with these white pants, which, oh my God, I'm obsessed with these white pants. Everyone has such cool pants. Love these white pants. They're like a barrel leg denim, maybe, or like a cotton or a linen. I can't even tell, like a crepe. I don't know. They've got good texture to them as well. And you can tell they have like a little pleat at the knee. I've been wanting to make a pattern like that for a while now. That is kind of like a barrel leg with a pleat at the knee, and I'm cooking on it. But so cute because she's got the blue streak in her hair, the red top, and the white pants. She's got like a red, white, and blue theme going on. And I'm sad to report, I can't remember where Louise is from, if she's from the United States or not, or from another country that has a red, white, and blue theme. But either way, I love it. It's very patriotic in like the most subtle ways. I think overall it's just like really classic, bold, fun. Good job. Good job, Louise. Okay, Katie here is our next one, and I think Katie's is very like classic and crisp as well. Hers is very polished. She did hers in a midweight linen in this very calm, subtle beige cream, I'd say more of like a cream white color. She did the short sleeves and the band collar. It's simple, it's classic, it's polished. It's just got that pale neutral tone to it that I think pairs really well with the light, airy drape of the fabric. And then she did a contrast of it with those dark denim shorts that I think adds a little bit more structure to that floaty top. And then she's got the classic, like, kind of wedge clog type of sandal grounding her and dressing this up a little bit in a way that I think is kind of like a little bit more classy. And she could be doing anything. She could be running errands. She could be going to the farmer's market. She looks very put together, I think, without trying too hard. Yeah, very, very cute and clean. Good job, Katie. Okay, Catherine. Don't you just want to hug Catherine? I want to hug her. She looks like she's reaching out for a hug in this picture, and it makes me feel so happy and feel so seen, and I love it. It's so fun. She did her Finch top in a linen viscose blend that has, it's blue, it's got polka dots. It's just so fun. She did the short sleeves, the traditional collar, no ruffles. Like, she didn't add any extra ruffles, and I think that, and no buttons. And I think that that gives it that real, just like relaxed, fun, comfortable, simple, flowy look. I think the linen viscose blend gives it that extra like soft flow to it. And I think overall she just looks like we could have a good time together. And I wanna know what's in this amazing high texture like little spot that she's in. It looks like so many magical creations probably come out of this spot, this background. And I want to be there. I want to know more about that place. And I love that Catherine has paired the top with her big white oversized glasses and the white shirt. I think that really ties it all together so well. Adds to the fun, the flow, adds a little bit of light airiness to it. A little bit of summertime. So good. All right, next we've got Tara, and I've just got to say, Tara perfectly matches her house. So if you're wondering, I can't decide how I want to make my Finch. Well, you could just literally match your Finch to your house and it could be magical. Okay, Tara is down to like her buttons and her shoes. She matches her house and it makes me so freaking happy. I want her to invite me in for a cup of tea, just seeing these pictures. It's so charming. I love it so much. What else do I even have to say? Okay, we'll get into it. So Tara used a lightweight cotton fabric. She said it was like nearly sheer, which I think totally works here. It gives it that lightweight, fresh, soft feel that is absolutely stunning. And she did the short sleeves, the band collar, and then she actually was the only one of the pattern testers who used the selvage edge. Well, someone else did it in this sleeve, but she used it up in the collar seam as well as the button placket seam and her sleeve hem, and that just gives it like a more kind of worn in, lived in like texture, but interesting. I don't know, it's like, so it just adds intrigue, I think, to the whole thing of like, how did the fabric fray like that and it's not completely coming undone, because those seams are actually more durable because she used the selvage edge, so they will not come undone. I just feel like it's got a fresh, breezy vibe. I love her pants that she styled this with, this green pant. I want to know where everyone's getting their pants from. These, yes, there are great Charlie Darwin pants out in the world, but you guys are all really giving me a craving for these cool pants. So, love the pant that she paired it with, and then the shoe she did like a black polka dot, I think, flat. And I feel like that really adds, first of all, like a little bit of visual weight to the bottom, grounds the whole outfit, and adds a polished touch to this. So you can imagine if she had styled with a different shoe, she could have done like a leather sandal, let's say, or like a Birkenstock. And I think that would have given more of a beachy feel. But with the black flat, I think it gives more of a like polished workplace, or just come in and hang out and we'll drink some tea together and I don't know, talk gossip, talk shop. I don't know, talk about interesting things. I love how she paired this. I love her charming house as well. So freaking cute. Okay, the next two I'm pairing together because I feel like they have a similar vibe of how they styled and created their top. This is Imagigen, sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, and Regina. And they both just have such a fun, comfy, casual summertime vibe. I don't know what fabric Regina used, but I love the like subtle stripe to it. And then Imogen used a linen fabric in this gold color, which is very bold, bright. Love that it kind of matches those yellow flowers in her yard. They both did short sleeves. Imogen did the traditional collar, Regina the band collar, and neither of them added any extra ruffles. So this is, I think no ruffles really adds to the more simplistic, like, I'm just throwing this on like I would a t-shirt kind of vibe. It just makes it more simple, but in a good way. I think that these outfits are the most relatable to me because I probably spend like 95% of my time in this sort of world where I've got on my comfy shorts and a slip-on waterproof sandal, and I'm just vibing, and I'm just here for a good time and hanging out. Whatever we're doing today, I'm ready for anything. We could be going to the beach, going on an adventure. I might sweat a lot in this shirt. I'm gonna lay in my hammock. They've got just like the cool, chill vibe going on. They just have basically made the Finch in its more t-shirtable form, which I totally love. Okay, our last two here I am pairing together because they really took a brave and unique route of doing the contrasting or like color blocking collar to their bodice, and I think that's so fun. Like, I did the color blocking on mine as well, and I think it's just adds a whole nother layer of personality to a garment. So we're gonna start with Avan Leah, and I think she said she used a cotton fabric that was nearly a flannel, and by that she meant like it was a little bit thicker and softer, which I do think that this pattern is better for light to mid-weight fabrics, but always, always, always experiment with whatever you've got and whatever you want to try out, especially in different seasons. You can try different things. But she did a contrasting fabric on her collar, which is really fun, and then she did the big buttons. So, and those also are contrasting and kind of matching the collar. She did the bishop sleeves, the Peter Pan collar, and I would describe her design style here as very fun and whimsical. She's paired it with like a big, bold hair clip, big hoop earrings, a little bit of red lipstick. She's having fun. She's having a good time with it, just kind of mixing and matching. She's having fun and she's ready to go wherever she's got to go in this top. All right, and then we've got Pam, who, what a beautiful photo. She's sitting so proper and so beautifully in this. She used a printed Japanese 100% cotton fabric, so gorgeous. And I feel like the cool thing about her buttons is that when they're reflecting the light, they kind of match the white flowers a little bit on her printed fabric, which is so sweet. And she did the ruffle sleeves, the Peter Pan collar, and added the collar ruffles for an extra touch there. And I would just describe this whole setup that she's paired it with her black maxi skirt, and even like really small attention to detail here, really pretty. The braided headband right there. I don't know if that's her real hair or a headband, but I love it. That is so nice and sweet, and I feel like we don't talk about hair much in design and styling and stuff and matching with your garment, but like I feel like that adds more intrigue and texture to this story, which I really appreciate. And I would say overall, I think this just breathes artistic, expressive, bold. It is a good example of like personal storytelling through textiles, I think, because I think you get a sense of who Pam is from this shirt, and I love that. I really love that. Okay, that is everyone. That is our crew. We have gone through absolutely so many cool variations of the Finch, and have really enjoyed being here with you guys. We're gonna wrap up. There's a million more ways you can make this. I hope over time we'll collect more photos over on my website as people start to submit them. But I'd love to see how you're gonna make yours. Let me know in the comments below which, you know, if any of these sparked good ideas for you, if you have any questions for me or any of the people, the pattern testers in these photos, we can, you know, I can crowdsource some answers for you. But loved having you here. Happy day to you. I did reach 10,000 subscribers last week, which was very exciting. And so I'm proud to report I am, as promised, going to book a massage for myself. Much needed. Get some of this, you know, my shoulders hurt from all this video editing. So get a good massage, get loosened up. All right, I can't wait to see what you create with the Finch sewing pattern. You can grab yours at charliedarwintextiles.com/patterns, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.